Hello, this is Carlos and this is my weekly status report for week number 5. So, during this week, I spent around 10 hours of work on this. Honestly, probably a lot, deal more of it. So, during this week, I was able to accomplish some of the goals I had set from previous week. I was able to revisit entirely the user CRUD function for the admin role. I was also able to implement the CRUD function for the roles, but I was not able to make it work for the claims. I still need to study about that. I have a notion about what claims are, but I'm not sure how to work with them yet. Also on this side, I was able to work the roles in the MVC layer, but not in the web API one. So that's something I'm going to work on next week. In fact, I'm going to work in the authentication and authorization. Also during this week I was able to work in a lot of different bugs I was able to find, or maybe some improvements, and also some improvements in the code. Also I was able to get more acquainted with the IDE regarding some of the uses I can do a bit, and also I work on some restructuring, just the name of one of the layers, the API layer. So next week I will be working on claims in the web API and in the responses and descriptions for the different endpoints. Regarding my work plan, I was able to work on these points. But not on this part. Probably I'm going to revisit them. I was able to work on this one only in half. And taking a look to the commits, this is what I was able to work on during this week. You can see the different days I work on them. Most of them are small fixes or small feature additions. Probably I have this one. It's a big one. So now we're going to take a look at this. I was having some problems with the Angular layer, and I was able to make some changes in the way the API behaves, the IDE. That's why I added these different profiles for the IDE to use. They work with different configurations. For example, one of the profiles is this one, which is used for making work the single page application of Angular with the API. And this one is going to make work only the API. it's a huge improvement to what I was doing before. Also, I changed the name of this layer. Before it was named only API, then I changed it to Web API, which is more descriptive and organizes the layers in a more uh, logical way from top to bottom. So I'm going to pause for a second and I'm going to set up everything I need. No, I won't do that. Let's make it work from the beginning. So I should drop the database. And we are going to update it again. As you can see, the migration was applied. Now we're going to make it run from the MVC layer only. Hopefully this is going to compile in no time. So during this week, my main focus of work was on the CRUD for the users and also for the roles. I work in the entire MVC implementation of them. Okay. Seems to be there's a problem here. Okay, this one, I'm not going to need this one. For some reason it was launched. Web MVC, let's take a look at it. MVC, that's weird. Okay, never mind. So let's see if this one, oh yeah, I know. Probably it's because this window was open from before. So let's take a look to some of this. Everything is working. Let's take a look. This endpoint is not going to work. As you can see, it's not working because I don't have a web API. I also changed back to the use of usernames. Hopefully I have the correct secrets in place. Okay, it's working. As you can see now, I have access to the administration section. I reworked the entire list for this. I also included the roles here. As you can see, I mean the entire style was reworked. Now I have different looks for it. I think I included also the lockout, telling you that it's enabled or inactive depending on how many logins attempts any user may have. Now taking a look to what we already have, we have this. As you can see, the admins are in place, displayed. Now we have, for example, okay, let's create one user. It's going to have this name, random name. We can add numbers, activate We can confirm email. This is going to have a default user of user. Here it is, and we can add more roles to it. This is something I need to change because we don't want to give super admin to anyone other than the original and first user of the system. As you can see, those roles were assigned. Now we can delete this, and he's gone. Claims, we don't have claims yet. Roles, we have roles. As you can see, we have 3 roles so far. We can't delete these roles because they're static, they're part of the system. And here we have a little explanation about them. I still need to study a little more about this topic because I need to have a really good grasp of the difference between them. I could add another role, let's say test role, and we can change the switches for the settings of the role. As you can see, there's not option for static roles. I was a little lost at first about how to implement the roles, so I took a look to this project, which is open source, and they have a really good product here. So right now I'm using their product to understand more about how to implement the roles, the users, the claim types. As you can see in this screenshot, they display a little about what their product is. Of course, the free version does not display all of this, but it's useful for getting a better idea of what I want to have for my application. Everything else is working, as you can see. I could change passwords, and I can log out. Let's try a different user. Let's try manager. And as you can see, manager does not have authorization for this area, for this admin area. So there's still a lot of work ahead, so I will be working on that next week. Thank you for watching.